Hey guys, and welcome back to My Lilac Hill. Brittany here with you again today, and in today's video we are going to go over everything that you can expect to see on the channel in 2023, what some of my personal goals are and what some of my goals are for the business. So grab a cup of coffee or some tea or water, whatever your beverage of choice is, and sit tight because we have a lot to go over. I'm gonna break this video up into a few different sections. So the first one that I'm gonna go over is some of my personal goals, and then we'll go into my business goals. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do actually have two businesses. So I work a full-time job in town, and I also run two small businesses. One of those businesses is My Lilac Hill, so that's what you see here on this channel, and my farming and CSA adventures and things like that all falls under the umbrella of My Lilac Hill. My second business, I'm a virtual assistant, and that is how I make some of my extra money to afford to do some of the things that my full-time job just does not pay for. So I have a business called Homestead Virtual Services, and I offer, just like it says, virtual services for small businesses. And so I will get into some of my goals for both of those businesses here in a bit and kind of explain what those businesses are designed to do. But for right now, we're gonna dive into my personal goals. So one of my biggest goals is to get back into better control of my health. I've had this channel since 2018, very sporadically have posted on it. So you might have seen some of my very early on videos where I talked about some of my workouts and some of the things that I was doing. Health has always been something that has been very important to me, and in my 20s I did a much better job of managing my health than I have done in the last 3 years. I used to work out at least once a day. I used to eat incredibly clean and counted my macros and tracked everything and measured myself and weighed myself all the time because, well, I wasn't a mom and I had a lot of time to do those types of things. And over the last couple of years, I've really fallen short. It started when I got pregnant. I had this, I want to say irrational, but I don't want to offend anybody that also has this fear. But I had this big fear when I got pregnant that if I continued working out at the level that I was working out and lifting weights the way that I was and running 5 to 7 miles a day like I was, I just had this fear of my pregnancy not coming to fruition. And I was very afraid of that, and to the point where I completely stopped working out. And I did talk with my doctor about it, and my doctor assured me that as long as I've always been doing that, I can keep doing what I'm doing and just pay attention to my body and everything would be fine. But I thought I knew better than that, and it was just fear. It was fear that kept me from continuing it. But I stopped working out completely, just completely stopped working out, and gained a massive amount of weight with my pregnancy. I gained a little over 80 pounds, and I thought, again, I was a new mom, and so I didn't realize quite how things worked. But I thought, oh, it's okay. As soon as I have the baby, that weight will just fall off and it's fine. I'll get right back into the swing of things like I used to, and everything will be fine. And it wasn't. I struggled with a little bit of postpartum depression when Miles was born. I had a lot of things going on in my home that were just not conducive to a healthy lifestyle, and I didn't start working out again, and I wasn't eating healthy. And you know, once you get out of those habits, it's really difficult to get back into them. And I didn't prioritize it because I had so much going on that was stressing me out and overwhelming me that I just did not have the capacity to try to take better care of myself. And then 2022, I was finally able to get rid of a lot of that stress and things that were stopping me from taking care of myself. And so for 2023, it is a very big goal of mine to gain back that control. And I've started working out again, and I've started making sure I'm drinking more water, and I still have always ate fairly healthy. It was really the lack of working out that caused me to keep the weight on after I had given birth to my son. And so I've just really gained control of that again. And so one of my biggest personal goals in 2023 is to get back to the healthy lifestyle that I lived prior to my pregnancy, working out frequently, taking better care of my body. It's just so incredibly important, and I want to be the mom that is running around having fun with my son in the summer times and not getting short of breath and not coming down with illnesses because I haven't taken care of myself. Now, I do fully understand that I could still come down with illnesses, even with taking care of myself, but I just want to do the very best job that I can do to prevent that and be the best mom that I can be. So in 2023, you'll see, I don't know if I'm gonna post a whole lot of it on the channel. If you guys wanna watch some of that, let me know, and maybe I will, but I've gotten back into the swing of things. I've been doing a 5K row on my row machine every day. Other than while I was sick, I did not, but I've gotten back into it after feeling better, and so I'm trying to do that. I'm drinking a lot of water. I'm watching, I make a lot of bread, and so I've gotten out of that. I've stopped making quite so much bread, at least not sandwich bread. I am doing some sourdough, which for me doesn't affect me quite as much with the bloating as regular bread. But anyways, I'm just really trying to gain control of that again. Another really big goal for me is kind of a continuation on a big goal from 2022. I wanted to really pay down my debt, and I'm very close. I mean, very, very close to being debt free. And if I work really hard over the next 2 years, I could be debt free. And I mean completely debt free. Now I rent, so obviously I don't have a mortgage, but I have other debts. I have student loan debt. I still have some credit card debt, and I have paid off my vehicle. So that was one thing I was able to do, but I want to get the rest of my debt paid off. And so I'm really focused on getting that paid down. And I mean, I'm really focused on it. So like, I'm not buying a lot of extra stuff for myself. I'm putting basically everything extra I have into chipping away at that debt. So that's a huge focus of mine. And so some of the videos that you see throughout this next year may be ways that I'm trying to keep things more affordable or cheaper, or what I'm doing in my life to have the extra money in order to be able to cut down on that debt. And the next really big personal goal that I have in 2023 that I set for myself is I want to do a deep dive into the Old Testament. I'm pretty familiar with the New Testament, but I'm not as familiar with the Old Testament, and I want to have a really well-rounded understanding of the Old Testament. So I have been doing some morning quiet time and going through and studying. And now I know not all of my viewers are, of the faith or anything like that, and I would never push that on anybody. That's your own decision, and what you feel led to do in your life. But it is a big part of my life, and so I am going to just share that that is one of my goals. So I hope that you all will keep it respectful. If you don't share the same beliefs that I do, that is perfectly fine. I still value your presence here. I think that differences of opinions and different beliefs and things is kind of what helps us to grow and be better humans. So I still want you here. I still value your presence, but just please don't be negative in the comments. If it pertains to faith, I'm just gonna delete it. So if you have different beliefs, that is more than okay. But for me, one of my big goals is to have a better understanding of the word. And so I'm really diving into the Old Testament this year. And then I kind of touched on this a little bit in my last video. So I obviously, in May of 2022, I started dating my landlord, which is something that you probably would tell people you shouldn't do. But I can't explain it to you. Everything was just right, and we very quickly became best friends and fell in love with each other, and everything just, it's just right. It's meant to be. And on January 14th, he asked me to marry him. So of course I said yes. I was very excited, and we will be getting married in October of 2023. So we are so busy this year. We are working on his house. He has been working on remodeling his grandparents' farmhouse, which is like the original homestead house. His family has had that farm for over 100 years. They are a Missouri Century farm. And so for the last couple of years, he has been working on remodeling that house when he has the time and money to do so. And with being a farmer, he's very busy, so it's taken him a while, but now we kind of have a deadline because when we get married, we are going to move into that house together. And so right now he's currently putting a second bathroom in on the upstairs level of the home. And so that project is consuming a lot of his time right now. We went the other day to pick out some tile and things like that for the bathroom. And so I don't know how much of that I'm gonna share. And as we get closer, I mean, I wanna respect his privacy too. So if he doesn't want some of that shared, I'm not going to. But you know, maybe at some point we might bring you in on some of the things that we're doing over at the house and getting it ready for us to be able to move into in October. And then we are also planning a wedding. And so one of the things that I will share some of this on this channel, we are trying to, again, be very mindful of our finances, and I'm trying to pay down some debt. He is also trying to pay down the property I live on right now. He's trying to pay that mortgage down. And so we are really trying to watch our finances with this wedding and not get crazy over the top, but still have a very beautiful wedding on the farm. So you might see some of that, some of the DIY projects that we plan to do for the wedding, as well as maybe after the wedding, I might show some pictures of the wedding. So we'll see kind of how that goes, but that's some things that you can expect in 2023. We are very, very excited. Both of our families are very, very excited. And yeah, it's gonna be a whirlwind of a year with everything that we have going on between him farming full-time, me working full-time, and trying to grow my 2 small businesses, and planning a wedding and remodeling a 100-year-old farmhouse. So it's gonna be a lot, but we are very excited for it, and we're just taking it day by day and trying not to get too overwhelmed with the process of it. But you know, with respect to his privacy and things like that too, we'll see kind of how much I'm gonna share with you guys, but I will definitely at least talk about some of it throughout the next several months, and that will kind of get you guys an idea on everything that's going on behind the scenes. So now that we have gone through all of the personal goals that I have, I wanna touch on some of the things that you can expect specifically for this channel. But before I do that, I'm gonna just briefly touch on my second business because it's kind of like the third priority at this point. But I do have a second business, my full-time job, and then I have the 2 businesses. So it's kind of a third priority, but it is my second business. And like I said, I'm a virtual assistant for some small business owners. Right now, I just have one client. I'm doing a lot of social media and website work for her, and also some Pinterest management for her as well. So I do that in the evenings and in the mornings, you know, when I'm not at my full-time job. I also do it on weekends. And so I'm really hoping to expand that, and I'm working on trying to get a couple more clients on when I have a little bit of time to do that. So I might go into some of that later. If you guys are curious on how I got started on that or what it is exactly that I do for these business owners, I might go into that. But I've also been kind of exploring with the idea of starting a separate YouTube channel specifically for that, so that it doesn't take away from kind of the main focus of the homesteading and farming channel. So we'll see how that kind of goes over the next few months. But if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know, because I'm curious to see if you want to hear more about that. If you don't, I'll just keep this channel focused mainly on the homesteading stuff. Speaking of, let's go through everything that I have planned for MLH, which is My Lilac Hill for short, for 2023. The first focus I have is I really want to be better about being consistent with social media posting, primarily YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I do also have a Facebook group where it's basically a garden club that I created, and a lot of gardeners collaborate and post pictures throughout the season on what they're working on, and there's a lot of really good advice in there as well. I haven't posted super frequently in there, but I do want to be a little bit better about that as well. And then I also have a website, mylilachill.com, where I am experimenting with the idea of putting a blog. I also have a podcast for each of my small businesses, so I'm kind of managing a whole lot, and I'm just trying to get it to be a little bit more streamlined of a process. So over the next few months, you might start seeing some more on my website and blog postings, as well as future podcast episodes. So stay tuned for that, because I will announce that. I have not made my podcast live for MLH just yet, because the way that I'm formatting it, it's kind of telling a story, and I want to get a couple of episodes out before I really promote it. So I will let you know when that goes live. I am currently in the works. I've written all the episodes out. I just need to go through and record them. So my goal is by the 1st of March that podcast will be live. And so when that happens, I will definitely make an update here for you. But that podcast is called Journey to the Hill, and it's basically, like it says, it's my journey to the hill, and it's a longer format of the story of why I homestead, how I got here, and where I want to see it going. I do also want to do a weekly live stream on YouTube. It's something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I just haven't, primarily because I just haven't prioritized it. But that is in the works. I do want to prioritize that this year. And so what I did is I set a goal for myself. When I hit 5,000 subscribers here on the channel, I'm going to do a weekly live. Now that live will happen on the night my son goes to his dad's every week, because that's the night that I will be able to actually get that done. So that would be Wednesday nights. My goal is to have that around 7 or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, but it will be on Wednesday nights. And it will be the very first Wednesday after I hit 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys could help me get there by liking and sharing my content, we'll see how quickly I will start doing live streams. Maybe it'll be very quick. Another thing that I am working towards, I touched a little bit on the website and the blog postings that I'm going to be putting out on the website. I'm also going to set up a P.O. box. I've had a few of my subscribers request to send me cards, particularly around Christmas time is when it was happening. And obviously I don't want to give out my personal address for privacy reasons. So because I haven't set up a P.O. box, I declined that respectfully. I really appreciate the offer, and I love getting Christmas cards. So I do want to set up a P.O. box. I don't expect anybody to send me anything, so I don't want this to come across as please send me stuff, because that's not what it is. But if you feel so inclined, I will have that available, again, probably in March. And then another really exciting thing is I've been working on some new merch designs. If you have been to my website, you'll see that I'm sold out currently on all of my merchandise. And that is because I'm trying to put out some new designs. And one of my really good friends from high school, and actually my client that I do all of my virtual assisting for, runs a t-shirt business. And she's the one that makes all of my merchandise. And so we're collaborating together, and I don't know when it will happen. My goal is by summertime to have all that merch live on the website. So stay tuned for that. I will absolutely make an announcement for it, but there will be new merch coming to the website soon. And then as far as farm specific activities, before I got engaged and knew that, okay, in October, I'm gonna be moving from this property to Kyle's house, I had thought I wanted to get rabbits because I've wanted to raise rabbits for meat, and then I also wanted to use their manure for compost in the garden. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or if I'm just gonna wait until we move. It's really gonna depend on a few underlying factors with this property. Obviously, because he owns this property and he farms the surrounding area, like we're still gonna be out at this property, But if we get a new tenant in here, I don't necessarily think they're gonna want my meat rabbits here, and I don't know if I really wanna move a hutch and do all of that. So I may just wait until we get moved in the fall of next year. I may just wait until then to look into meat rabbits, but that might be something we do this year. It'll just kind of have to see, we'll have to just kind of see how things go. Another thing I really am focused on this year is I'm diving into more of the cut flower realm. I've grown some cut flowers just for bouquets in my own house and things to give to my mom or Kyle's mom, and I've loved putting bouquets together. I love going out to my garden and picking some really beautiful flowers, and so I am expanding on that this year and just kind of testing the waters to see if I like cut flower farming. I have not advertised to CSA. I have no customers. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it specifically to see if I want to turn that into something for a business. I've always wanted to sell my produce, and I did run a CSA program in 2020, and in 2021 is when I did my CSA program, and I want to get back into that, and I would love to do that. And my goal is next year, because with moving again, wasn't expecting to get engaged and move and do all of these things. I'm super thrilled to be doing it, but I'm not going to run a CSA for vegetables this year or for flowers, but my goal for 2024 is to start my CSA program back up. And so this year I'm just really diving into, do I want to do cut flowers? If I do, which ones do I enjoy? And then of course, always expanding on my vegetable gardening. So we've got a massive garden planned. Stay tuned for another video, hopefully later this week or first part of next week, on my garden layout. I have everything ready for the video. I just have to actually sit down and film it and get it edited and put out. So that's coming. You'll get to see kind of what I'm planning as far as the layout for the vegetable garden as well as the cut flower garden. I will also do a couple of videos on how I plan my seed starting schedule and how I stay organized with everything that I have going on between the full-time job, running 2 businesses, I say I'm a single mom. I am obviously engaged, but we don't live together. We don't share expenses or anything like that. So I still very much feel like a single mom as far as trying to get everything done on my own. Now that being said, he helps me a ton. He tilled my garden last year. He brings me straw for my garden. So he helps me a ton. So I don't want it to come across as that, but just, I do want to put out a video to kind of walk you through my system of getting everything done and not letting things fall through the cracks, which things still fall through the cracks, but I do actually do a really good job of trying to keep everything up. I don't sleep a whole lot, but I do get a lot of things done. So I will have some videos going over kind of how I plan all that and stay organized on all of that. I didn't advertise a CSA. Typically what I do with my CSA program is I advertise in the fall prior to the gardening season, and everyone that wants to partake would pay in advance, and then they would have their share throughout the growing season. I didn't advertise it, and I'm not planning on having customers. Now that being said, I do still plan to try and sell some produce when I have extra, but I don't know how much extra I'm going to have because I have a massive canning goal for this year. This year, I did set the goal that I wanted to have a fully stocked pantry when when Miles and I move in with Kyle. He's got a big cellar underneath their house, and I want to have as close to a year's worth of food canned and preserved from this year's growing season as I possibly can. Kyle raises beef. He also is raising a pig right now, so he's kind of got the meat side of things, which is also why I'm not as concerned with getting meat rabbits. He also is who I get my farm eggs from. He has about 300 chickens, and they sell eggs with their farming business. So that's also why I'm not concerned with getting chickens here. Now, I have always wanted to do ducks, and at some point I probably will do ducks, but again, don't know that I'm going to start that at this property, knowing that I'm going to be moving in just a few short months. So maybe I'll go do chores for Kyle someday, and you guys can kind of see some of that stuff. You'll definitely see some of that as we get moved over and I'm doing some more of that type of chore work and everything. But for right now on this property, I just don't think that I'm gonna put any animals here because I don't need to. And then next year we can reevaluate and maybe add some animals to what we're doing. And maybe we won't. Maybe we will just stick with what we've got right now with what he's got going on his farming business. Speaking of his farming business, he does share a lot on Facebook about his farming business. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link below. It's called Grumke Farms. That's their last name, and it's here in Odessa, Missouri. And he's got a lot of really good content right now. He's collecting sap from the maple trees and making maple syrup out of it. And he talks a lot about how he gets water to his cattle in the wintertime. And so if you're at all interested in regenerative agriculture and that type of a lifestyle, he shares a lot of videos on what he's doing over on their farm on his Facebook page. So I will leave a link to that below for you guys. Definitely head over there, check him out and see what he's got going on. And that'll kind of give you a better idea as to why I don't do that on my side of things, because he's got it taken care of already. I just don't share that because I'm at work from 9 to 5 and he's at work farming, but I'm in an office, so I just don't get to be a part of that as much as I would like to currently. Now again, the goal is to eventually be on the farm full time, and so hopefully at some point soon you guys will be seeing me doing more of that, because that's why we're working so hard to get debt paid down and why I'm working so hard to get my other 2 small businesses up and running even more than they are right now, so that they can financially support what we need them to. So as you guys can see, there is a lot in the works for 2023. I'm maybe slightly overwhelmed by everything that we have going on, but super, super excited about it as well. And I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I'm getting kind of hoarse again, and I don't want to stress my voice out too much, and I'm gonna go rest and edit these videos and get these put out for you. And I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you'll stick around because we got a lot of fun things coming up in 2023. I do have several videos planned for the next couple weeks, and it'll just have to come down to when I can sit down and do the video and have the time to get that done. But hopefully here in the next couple weeks, you're gonna see my garden layout, my seed starting schedule, and really, we're only a couple weeks away from me starting seeds, so you're gonna see some of that too. So I hope you liked this video, and please, if you did like this video, give me a thumbs up. That really helps me with my goals of growing my channel. And share my videos. That's the best way that you can help me, is by sharing my videos on your social media. Until next time, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and will stick around, and we will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.